Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. If it's your first time here, thank you for joining me in my little corner of the internet. I'm going to be reviewing Mario's new makeup line. I have all of the eye products here right now. I'm going to be doing two looks for you because there's just the whole collection is about eyes, and I just don't think I'd be able to do it justice if I just did one eye look. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Obviously my face is already done. I literally have hair gel in my eyebrows right now because my boyfriend's hair gel at that, because I was too lazy to go get my eyebrow stuff from the car. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I really like some of Mario's collabs. I haven't gotten every single one, but I have gotten his Anastasia palette, and when I did have it, I hit pan on all those colors. But honestly, when I first saw it, I was kind of side-eyeing it a bit, kind of yawning, because I just felt I love Mario and I love his work, but I just kind of felt the collection kind of was boring, if I'm being completely honest. This is just my judgment, just what I saw. But I also noticed that Mario tends to kind of go for the same color scheme over and over again for his eyeshadow palette, so I just wasn't sure if this was something I was gonna need, but I really wanted to try it out for you guys and wanted to put my judgment aside and really just review the product, see how I would like it. And I have tried some of the products, and spoiler alert, I do like it. So he came out with a Master Matte eyeshadow palette. It looks like this. All of these, all of his products, eye products, come in this plastic white packaging, simple by Mario branding, and it comes with a mirror. I'm not gonna blind you with that. And 12 matte shadows in here, and I feel everybody has neutrals and they don't really need this, but I don't know, I just got it for the sake of the video. And then the next eyeshadow palette is the Master Metallics eyeshadow palette, and it looks like this. And this palette's particularly reminded me a lot of his Anastasia palette. It's definitely older, obviously, and I've definitely used it to death, so that's why it looks kind of a mess. It's old and used and abused, but at the time, this eyeshadow palette really made me interested in Anastasia palettes and really into Mario in general. As you can see, I've used a lot of the shades up, and it's dusty as fuck, but I can't let it go because I don't know, I feel it has sentimental value for some reason, and I just have a hard time letting it go. But if you did get this palette, I can promise you right off the bat, it's not the same palette, but you could see why I thought maybe they'd be a little similar. So that's his khaki brown shade in the Anastasia palette, just for comparisons. This is his Master Metallics eyeshadow, and it's definitely more olive in tone, and kind of more so the green I wanted it to be in the Anastasia palette. Let me do a better swatch. So it actually kind of reminds me a lot of the undertones of Desi and Katie's Dirty Money or Mean Money, what I don't know, that one, that olivey green shades that's very popular. So different there. That shade Kim is probably what I used most from the Mario and Anastasia palette. What this is called? Yeah, Master Metallics. So the brighter, more coppery shade is from the Master Metallics, and then the more muted but still coppery toned Kim is from the Anastasia. Claudia from the Anastasia palette is this deep navy blue, and I am running out of fingers. This is this deep blue tone from the Master Metallics palette. So this more shimmery shade is from the Master Metallics, and this one is from the Anastasia palette. So as you can see, the tone, like the theme here, they're similar in shade, but the Master Metallics just have more sheen and more like oomph. I don't know how else to explain that, but yeah. I think those are like the major similarities that I first saw. Let me see. Those are the major similarities I saw from the Anastasia palette and the Master Metallic palette from Mario, but I mean they're so similar, like undertone wise and like the color theme wise, that I really, when I first saw it, I just thought, I wish he did something different. I wish he did like something, I don't know, like different from like what he's usually doing. But I am gonna put that aside and just go ahead into the rest of the products. This is a different palette that I was the most excited about. This is called Master Metals, and I obviously have used it already, so that's why you can kind of see it in the pan. But these are his like chrome eyeshadows, and you scrape it in the palette bottom here with the little spatula, and then you use the mixer to kind of create like a chrome-like effect on your eye. From Bronzite, I just got one of them. There's 3 shades, I believe. There's Citrine and another like silvery white color. I got the taupey like champagne color because I just felt like I would use this the most. I thought this would be a liquid product, but it's actually like more of a powder that feels really soft to the touch, and you can see, and it doesn't really have that strong of a base. It's more like a topper, like an eyeshadow topper, but it had a lot of shine. It's so stunning, and it reminds me of the Dior, I don't know what they're called, but they're discontinued now, but like the Dior shadows, I forget what they're called. I'll have to write it below because I can't remember, but they're discontinued now, and they're also not cruelty free. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this whole brand is cruelty free. I don't remember if it was vegan, but yeah, it's so bright and pretty. It's unbelievable. And he came out with a highlighter that literally looks like the pan is empty. You can only kind of see that it's in the pan because you can see where I touched it, and I don't really feel like I need to swatch this, but basically it's like a gel like balm, and it's supposed to go on the high points of your cheeks, and it's called Expensive. I was pretty surprised because I didn't really like see Mario as like a balm highlighter. I kind of felt like he'd be like more into like the shimmery highlights, because I feel like that kind of is like more in trend with like glam makeup. So I was really excited to see like just a clear balm, because I love clear balms. I love like balm, like highlighters in general. It's like what I use. I have dry skin, so I like more things that like melt into my skin. So yeah. And then the eyeshadow primer that he came out, it only comes in 3 shades, light, medium, and dark, I believe. I got light because obviously I'm light. I kind of wish he came out with more shades of this right off the bat. I kind of couldn't tell if I was medium or light, but I went in like Sephora and figured out that I was light, because I don't love like pinky tones on me, and I just don't think I'd use this. I don't really like use powders that much either, so I would have really liked to like not have to be forced to like pay more for like all 3 products when I'm only really gonna feel like gonna use this like medium or this more like warm color instead of the cooler color. But yeah, and I also noticed that the dark color wasn't like super dark, so I don't know, I haven't used it and I haven't watched enough reviews to really know like how well it works on like multitudes of skin tones. But right at the bat, I kind of just wish he made more like skin tone appropriate like eyeshadow primers. But I never really like buy eyeshadow primers. Like I usually get one and like I'll use it till I'm done with it. So it's cool that he even came out with 3 right off the bat, I guess. So kudos to him, but I do wish there were more like shades in between in that case. Okay, and the last thing, I also have his pencil sharpener. I think that came with the pencil. I didn't get the black pencil, I only got the brown pencil from Mario because I have a couple black pencils and I don't really like love using black pencils all the time, so I just felt like a brown one would probably become more useful, and you can still see how it works because they probably are the same formula. But it comes with a pencil side, and I have used this a couple of times, and it has a brush at the end so you can smudge out like your liner. And then the liquid liner is a felt tip black liner, and it's in the shade Super Black. I was kind of weary about this because it is a felt tip. I like brush tips, but before I went cruelty free, I did used to use the Benefits, I forget what it's called, Super Roller liner, and that actually kind of like changed my mind about felt tip liners, because that one I actually really liked and it didn't really run out for a long time. So I kind of feel like I'm not so judgmental about felt tip liners, like I'm more open to them now. So I know how I feel about this one, but I'm not gonna like spoil it for you guys. Just keep watching. Yeah, and we'll go ahead and get started. Since the rest of my face is already on, I'm gonna be showing you 2 eye makeup looks today. But yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna go into the eyeshadow primer here, and I'm just gonna go in with that second, like more medium shade, more like warm tone shade, I have to say. And I like these eyeshadow primers, I can tell you right off the bat. It doesn't feel like a concealer, which I was afraid it would feel like a concealer, but it's actually very like pretty matte. It's not tacky at all. And I like the Anastasia one and I use it religiously, but the only thing is I feel like there's so much product that comes out of that thing every single time, and I feel like sometimes if I overdo it, it gets underneath my eyes, or like it's just like too white on my eyes. And I do like wearing eyeshadow primers because I get oily eyelids. It's like the only thing oily about me. I don't know why, but I tend to just get oily eyelids, so I do have to wear eyeshadow primers if I want eyeshadow to last all day long. And this one's a nice one. It's not like super matte, but it like still like moves and like applies with your finger, but it's not so tacky that it's annoying, you know? And I think that's like a pretty good, like it doesn't I don't personally care for it to be super stark white, because I feel like sometimes if you don't blend it that well, it kind of looks strange. So I do like this one. I just don't know like if this worked for me, if it would work for someone lighter, and yeah, and all that. So starting with the brown eyeliner, this is called Perfect Brown. Just starting with a slight line above my eye. Inspired by like celebrity makeup artists lately. They like love doing like layering eyeshadows with like eyeliner so it lasts longer. So I decided to do it. I saw Hung Bang No do it on Emily Ratajkowski, so now I'm having a weird moment with like brown eyeshadow. I mean not brown eyeshadow, brown liner, like I want it all. Right off the bat, I know I like this liner because it's creamy enough to move, but it doesn't like, it's not so creamy that it just kind of moves around too much, if that makes any sense. So I feel like it'll be really long wearing, and I really like the color. I have the Victoria Beckham one, but I find that the brown just doesn't look like light enough. Like this one, it looks like really dark initially, but when it blends out, I feel like it kind of looks more like that warm brown color that I want from it. So that's the brown liner, isn't it shiny? Pretty as fuck. I'm gonna go into the Master Mattes palette really quickly. That's the metallic palette. I'm gonna go into the Master Mattes and just kind of smudge it out even further into like this little top light shade. These two mixed together. blending and setting down. Now I'm gonna go into it a bit into my crease, just mixing again. So that's the eyeshadow so far. I'm gonna go into the metallics palette now, and I'm gonna go into this olive green color right there that I showed earlier. This color, I wish I knew shade names, but I'm probably gonna mess it up, so I'm just not even gonna bother. So that's the olive shade right there. I'm gonna go into, I'm gonna put it right above that brown liner. I feel like it's like hard to pick up the olive in this camera, but I swear it's showing up olive. And I actually way prefer this shadow compared to the Anastasia. In gold, copper gold, I don't know. This shade that when I compared to Kim right on top of it, so I look like a leaf that's just fallen off a tree and smacked you in the face. Actually, not in Southern California. We don't really have like green leaves that change colors and shit, you know. So maybe that's why every California girl is like obsessed with fall. I'm gonna put a bit of that brown color now into my eye waterline. I don't usually do this, but I mean, let's see for shits and giggles what happens. Pop this shimmery gold color into the inner corners of my eyes. I don't know if I should do this, but I feel like it, so I'm gonna do it. So I put mascara on and not really like curled my eyelashes, mostly because I can't find my eyelash curler right now. That's the first look done. Let me just do a close up. I like how I teased that it wasn't gonna be like the most basic look ever, and then I literally turned it into a fall pumpkin patch onto my eyes and became the most basic bitch ever. I apologize. I really tried not to like do like the same looks everyone's doing, so you guys can get like better ideas of how to use the eyeshadow palette. But sometimes, you know, you just gotta be a fucking pumpkin spice loving bitch with like leaves on your eyes and shit. I don't know. But here is the first eye look. I'll stop talking now. I'm gonna go ahead and take just my eye makeup off as carefully as possible, hopefully without ruining this too much, and then I'm gonna go into my second and final look and give you my final thoughts. Sometimes I swear to God, I did the best I could, okay, without taking my entire face off. I'm just gonna put on that primer again with my eye, and it's okay if there's a little bit of liner left. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna put liner on again, so I I just did the best I could. I also ran out of cotton, Charmin Extra Soft, just fucking rough ass toilet paper onto my eyes. So excuse me if I did not do a very good job at like removing, but look, gotta do what you gotta do. And this time I'm gonna set it because I don't know, I didn't set it last time, so I just want to see if there's like a difference if I set it this time. I did notice it creasing a little bit when I didn't set it last time, so I'm just gonna go ahead and set that. Okay, great. Now for the exciting part, I'm gonna go into the star of this show, I think, in my opinion, the Mario Makeup by Mario Master Metals palette. I'm gonna go into, as you guessed it, I was testing these colors out, that's why there's a gape in it, and I'm using those two colors. Am I boring? I don't know. Rosy, this rose metal shade in the corner over here, and just scrape it onto the palette. Just like so. That much. Oh, I don't want to spill it. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the mixing liquid and just pour it right into the palette and just do 2 drops and just mix it together. I like this because it feels like art, which I guess it can be art. Maybe not when I do it, but it can be art. I'm gonna go ahead and just push my brush into that concoction right there, the liquid rose gold color, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start creating a V. And then I'm going to go into the gold shade this time. Again, scraping it off the side here. Grabbing a little bit on the palette. Focus. And then just putting that mixing medium right into it. And with this, I'm just gonna bring it into like the inner corner of my eye. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in with a black liner. So I'm gonna go in with the felt tip black liner because I wanna just emphasize my lash line a bit. I'm gonna go into the matte palette one more time. I'm just gonna use like this lighter neutral shade right up here and just emphasize my crease a bit. The Makeup by Mario little bronzite master crystal reflector with my finger. I just feel like these kind of shades always work better with the finger. And I'm gonna go ahead and place that right on top. Okay, last but not least, I almost honestly forgot about this, is the Master Secret Glow. It's a little pot of nothing, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the tops of my cheekbone. And my base is pretty like dewy as it is, but it's not lifting any of my base products. It's just going right on top. So I do like that too. Damn. I've only swatched this product, so I don't really know. This is like my real initial reaction, and I think it's really pretty. So it's tacky, but it doesn't feel annoying on the face. Okay, and that about completes my second Makeup by Mario look. Final thoughts. Realistically, we don't need another matte palette from Mario or anybody else in the future, but let's say you're just starting out in makeup, you literally have no mattes for some reason, you have like, this is your first time wearing makeup and you literally don't have any eyeshadow. Not a bad matte eyeshadow palette. For me personally, most likely be returning because I don't really see myself like reaching for this more than any of my other matte eyeshadows, and I don't know, I feel like this is a little too late, but I understand why he came out with it. Mario is kind of like the quintessential artist when you think of like matte, neutral, like blurred out, like nude makeup. So I'm not mad at the fact that he came out with it. Just me personally, my ever-growing makeup collection that will not die, do not need this, and will probably not be keeping it, but not bad at all. It says nothing but the quality. It's just me personally, I do not need this at all. So the next palette, I actually really am surprised at this palette the most. I wasn't sure. I've seen a couple of reviews. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this or not, but even like looking at it in the store, I really wasn't sure if I was gonna like it or not, but I actually do really like this palette. It's nothing too crazy, but I don't think like, I mean, it's very Mario, so I don't think it's not, so so I think it's like pretty on brand with him, so I understand like why he came out with this palette. It's different enough from the Anastasia palette, and honestly, like I don't use the Anastasia palette anymore, even though I did a lot. I just can't like let go of it because it was my baby at one point, and I just refused to let go of it for some reason. So I do see myself actually reaching for all of these colors. Maybe not so much the blues because I don't really reach for blues that much, but I actually really like how this looks on the eye, and I'm pretty surprised by the pigment and like how I could layer those shadows earlier, like without it turning gray, and it's separating enough to look different on the eye. I really like it, and do I think you need it? And do I think like if you have a bunch of shades like this that you'll like absolutely feel like you need to have it? No, but you know, like if you love Mario and you like these shades and you like went through a purge and maybe you are out of these shadows for some reason, go for it if you really want it. But I do really like this palette. Surprisingly, I was ready to hate on it, was ready to be like, why did you come out with this? You already came out with this already. But yeah, love it. It's really pretty. And the spatula for this palette actually comes with the mixer, not the eyeshadow palette. So I thought like the spatula would come inserted into this little slot here, but it actually comes with this master mixer. If for whatever reason you were expecting a spatula with this, don't. It's not the end of the world, but I was kind of like weirded out by that for some reason. I just expected it with this palette. It's a little minor thing, but I really like this palette. I really like the master mixer that goes with it. Would I necessarily have maybe reached for it if I wasn't doing this for YouTube? Maybe not. Like I honestly don't know if I reached for this daily, and I probably won't, but I think it's unique enough, different enough that if you wanted to have this in your collection, I think it's worth it. I think it's not, if I say I think one more fucking time, yeah, but it's not as finicky as I thought. The only part I was really wary about was like when I usually have mixing mediums and things I need to mix and put it all together, I kind of don't reach for it, but I like the finish that it gave, and I'm really excited to use like this blue color and more of these other shades, so thumbs up for me. The priming palette, I actually am going to keep this because I think it's actually a really good primer. I know I was kind of giving it shit earlier, but I do think it's a good primer. I think it helps my eyeshadow stay, and you know, that's really what you want from an eyeshadow primer. And I would just wish he would have extended the shade range a little bit better so that it had kind of more in between. But for my eyes, I really do like this medium color, and I think it has a good finish. It's not too tacky, it's not too dry, it moves around, and you can set it down with that powder. I don't think I'll be reaching for that like pink shade. I don't love it. I kind of feel like it like changes my eyeshadow shade a bit into like more of a taupey color sometimes, which I don't love. So I kind of wish she would have just come out with like a primer by itself, but I do not mind this palette. I only have one other eyeshadow primer that I've kept, so I will be keeping this. And this is the Bronzite Master Crystal. This is such a pretty top coat, as you can see on my eyes. I'm a sucker for these kind of products. I can never have enough. I think if you don't like cream like toppers, you find them finicky, and you want something more just like luxurious looking and expensive looking, this is it. Like, I really like this color. I don't think I would buy more of the other colors. I don't really go for like that trophy wife from like Fenty Gold. I don't wear those like in this kind of form. I kind of like how it like just makes your eyelid just look shiny from afar, and how it's like micro glitter. I really like this, and I like the formula. Keeping it. The Master Secret Glow, honestly, you can see a bit more because my finger's dirty, so it's like a gel, it's like a highlighter. I like it, but I think it's like a little bit too late for me. I have so many highlighters like this. I don't necessarily feel the need to invest in another one of these. Bad, no, but a little underwhelming for my collection for what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to really like change my mind and really make me into like super clear highlighters, but I do like more of like the balmy highlighters that have a little bit more of like a sheen to them, like the micro like glitters. I don't mind this, but I mean, I just don't think it, for me, I already like a dewy base, so I just don't think this is going to change my life in any way. But if for whatever reason you've never tried a balm highlighter and you are curious, I think this might be a good one. I've seen other reviewers like say it's like doesn't lift their makeup up, which is like their main problem with like balm highlighters. I've never really had that much of a problem with my other highlighters lifting my makeup up. So yeah, I mean, if you really feel like you want one that's completely clear that like won't lift your makeup up, maybe this one would be a good fit for you. Just personally for my collection, it's whatever. It's not as like impactful and like amazing as I thought it was going to be. I just personally don't love a super creamy eyeliner. I like it to like pretty much stay in place but still blend, so I'm asking for like eyeliners to do a lot. But yeah, and I'm also pretty particular about like brown eye color shades. Like I don't want it to lean too dark or too, like I prefer it to be like a chocolatey, like lighter brown, if that makes sense. Like a milk chocolate brown. So specific. I actually do like the brush on the end. I thought it was going to be kind of flimsy and like pointless, but I actually do like it for like blending out the liner, and I have been using it. I find that if you wanted to use it with the metallics, it is a good liquid mixer. It's inexpensive and it's good, and I'll be using it. So yeah, that brings us to the end of my video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!